Thank God for trading card games. Trading card games, God's gift to lonely fuckers like me. This is the opinion of Miyuki Takara here on the Miyuki Mile. How's it? So today's random shit show, we're going to be talking about trading card games. Now, nobody can tell me that the trading card game industry isn't a beast. You know, it's basically a way to go out and meet people. Now, one would contend so too are video games. But I would say trading card games are Dungeons and Dragons, only without the dungeon, without the dragon, and without the hour-long description of how a giant ant is jerking his head. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. I usually run a cleric because nobody else wants to. Nobody else wants to be the healer. Yeah, big problem I have on that. I'll delve into that at a later mile. So, the trading card game, Dungeons and Dragons without dungeons or dragons. And even the nerdiest of the trading card games, Magic the Gathering, even people that don't consider themselves nerds can get into. Because there's just too wide a variety. I mean, you got Magic the Gathering, you got World of Warcraft, Yu-Gi-Oh! Hell, even Dragon Ball Z even made a trading card game. I would contend that that's probably the worst trading card game I've ever played. I mean, it's too easy to know what the hell your opponent has in their hand. All you gotta do is see what they do on offense. If they attack you, then chances are they've got offense in their hand. Oh, and by the way, having a defensive deck is the best way to go in the Dragon Ball Z trading card game. I do still have a deck. I haven't used it since, I graduated from high school. Main personality is Goku. But I do still have one. I got a World of Warcraft deck. That deck was the deck that came in the World of Warcraft Cataclysm Collector's Edition. Yeah, it's sitting on my banister. My trading card game of choice is Magic the Gathering, and actually I have 3 decks for that. Now, one thing that's made me mad about the trading card game industry is how they want to get into the video game industry. Trading card games should never become video games, and that's because of the random card generator. In a nutshell, and I'm going to throw Yu-Gi-Oh! Into this. I understand my sample hasn't necessarily been that great. I've only played one Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game, and that would be Forbidden Memories. By the way, the free duel theme song in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, fucking awesome. The only problem is you're going to get tired of it. You have to fight free duels in order to get anywhere. And that's another thing I don't like. I'll delve into that later. But the random card generator of trading card games, considering how weak your decks start, is absolutely fucking pathetic. And it makes me say that the trading card game industry should never get into the video games. You know, Triple Triad and Tetramaster from Final Fantasy, again, absolutely fucking pathetic. Oh, and by the way, they tried making this an MMO. From what I understand, Tetramaster only recently shut down. Final Fantasy IX's been around for over 10 years. But anyway, you know, such is life. Now, I understand that in real life, you do have the possibility of getting a hand and your deck built to a point to where it's just pathetic. You have no chance of winning. But really, by that time, your personal deck is how you want it. Sure, you gotta spend a lot of money on it, sure. I mean, my 3 decks, there's one deck that needs a severe makeover. That would be a red deck. You know, I had a red direct damage and haste deck. You know, that was at least somewhat decent. Now it's gone to the shits. I have no idea what happened to that deck. It's gone to the shits. I still have the best deck I've ever built, though. A green and white deck. Yeah. So thank God for trading card games. Living alone, not having internet. Yeah, I did record this still before I had access to the internet. God's gift to men. And to a very real extent, even women. I love trading card games. Love them. I just don't think they need to be video games. Sorry, guys. Probably the best trading card game video game happened to be the worst trading card game. Dragon Ball Z, the trading card game. Now, Sonic Warriors just sucked ass. But Dragon Ball Z, the trading card game, you can at least mold your deck to be either offensive or defensive right from the very start. Now, you'd be a complete fool to pick anybody other than Goku or Cell. And as I recall, I actually haven't played it for quite a while. It was for the Game Boy Color. You actually couldn't pick Cell from the very start. You had to pick. You'd be a fool not to pick Goku. And even then, it's such a fucking challenge that it's almost impossible to beat. Seriously? Now, I actually haven't seen anything in that front for the last 5 years. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh game that made the PlayStation 2. I don't ever know. I don't know whatever happened to that. Are they still making trading card game crosses with video games? If they are, stop! Stop right now! and the last Magic the Gathering game I've seen was, oh man, mid-90s? Have they made anything past 6th edition? If they did, I'd like to find out, because at least in that one, it was mundane, sure. It was, what was it, 95? I think I saw it. I don't remember it. It's been a while. I was still living in Washington State. But I would actually like to give it a try, because that game, as mundane as it was still at least somewhat decent. The only problem is you can make your deck championship material given the cards that they had at their disposal right off the bat. Now, I know that's a complete hypocrisy given what I just said, but your decks don't need to start so pathetic that in Forbidden Memories you have to fight one person 600 times before you actually advance any. But such is life. Again, thank God for trading card games. So anyway, this will end the original set of Miyuki Miles, and what I mean by that is the Miyuki Miles I actually recorded before I had access to the internet. I'm not going to stop the Miyuki Mile. It's just the next Miyuki Mile we're going to be tackling your comments, so it will be a couple of weeks after I post these up that I record another Miyuki Mile. Now, the question I did pose to you guys was on 9/11 conspiracy theories. What are your theories to 9/11? And supply evidence. Supply proof. And saying you have evidence, show me. And don't tell me to wave my Nazi flag of oppression. Seriously. MiyukiTakara85@yahoo.com. You can also reach me at YouTube username man named Miyuki. Don't actually post your questions up on the if you want to know my opinion, don't post them up on the video page, because anybody can see them and the discussions start. You know, actually, if you want my opinion, actually email me. Now, any questions will make it. Alright, if I have time to post up all your questions, I will most certainly do so. Given how unpopular I am at this time, I would be shocked if that wasn't the case. So nothing's out of bounds. It doesn't have to be on the question that I pose, but those questions will take top priority. So again, MiyukiTakara85@yahoo.com. YouTube username, man named Miyuki. Coming up next, we're going to be listening to Luka Luka Night Fever, the Megarine Luka version. This is actually the version that we hear every time I say the word Megarine Luka. Yeah, that little sound clip. Well, we're going to be listening to the entire song. Next time, your comments. You're listening to the Miyuki Mile.